With the blessings of Guruji, we've come so far, and with guidance of Sachin sir, let's chant Guru Brahma. Jana Slogan, very
Bhishma Drona Dada Radajala Mantara Nilo Jala Kalyakra Havari Kripena Vakini Karnane Vela Pula Swastama Vikarna Koramahara Kodana Vardini Tirna Kalu Nadi Parivarta Kesava. That is, this Bhagavad Gita is told by Krishna in the Kurukshetra War. So this song, the Kurukshetra War, is that war is represented as a river. In this river, Bhishma and Drona are at the banks of the river. And Jayalata is the water in the river. And the Gandhara, the king of Gandhara, is the blue lotus in the river. The Salya Maharaja was as a shark, with Kirba as the current, Karna as high waves, Aswatthama and Vikarna as cruel crocodile, terrible crocodile, and Duryodhana is just like a whale, Sulal Mari. அதாவது இந்த குருட்சேத்திர போர்ல இவங்களையெல்லாம் எதிர்த்து இவ்வளவு கஷ்டமான இந்த நதியை கடக்கணும்னா அதுக்கு கிருஷ்ணருங்கிறவர் ஒரு போட் ஓட்ட தெரிஞ்சவங்க இருக்கணும். அதான் கைவர்த்தக கேசவா மீன்ஸ் கைவர்த்தக மீன்ஸ் தட் இஸ் போட், ரோவிங் போட். அந்த போட்டை ஓட்டுறவர் யாருன்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா கிருஷ்ணர். ஏன் இந்த பாட்டுன்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா இது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான ஃபீல்டு. Because the kings of different states and the warriors are in one side and the guru and others are that side. So he described as this war is just like a that is terrible river. In that river, that Bhishma and Drona are banks of the river, that is they are controlling the water. Then Bhishma and Drona means Jayadratha, he is a king. He is water in that river. Gandhara, the king of Gandhara is the blue lotus in the river. Salya means that is king of Salya. That is he is the maternal uncle of Nakulan and Sakadeva. He wants to support to them only. But on the way, this Duryodhana, that is stopped Salya and gave a great dinner. So that Salya, that is, it is necessary to support Duryodhana. So he is expert in that is driving that chariot. So this type of different peoples are in that war. It is very difficult to the Pandava to reach that terrible water. For that, Krishna is, with the help of Krishna, he knows to row the boat and they are crossing that river. theme of this song is, that is, we are also having trouble. When we approach or we will catch the feet of the Lord Krishna, that everything will be solved easy. That is the theme of.
Consciousness is not a part, product, or property of the body. Consciousness is an independent entity which pervades and enlivens the body. This consciousness is not limited by the boundaries of the body and is thus formless. This consciousness continues even after the body is destroyed, is eternal. This surviving consciousness cannot interact with the world due to the lack of a reflecting medium.
மெய்யுணர்வு என்பது உடலின் பாகமும் பொருளோ சுத்தோ அல்ல. மெய்யுணர்வு சுதந்திரமானது, உடல் அழிந்த பின்பும் நிலைத்திருக்கும். உருவமற்ற மெய்யுணர்வு உடலுக்கு அப்பாற்பட்டது. உடல் மறைந்த பின்பும் மெய்யுணர்வு நிச்சயமானது. இந்த எஞ்சி இருக்கும் மெய்யுணர்வு உலகம் இல்லாததால் உலகத்துடன் தொடர்பு கொள்ள முடியாது. அப்படின்னா what's the last part?
It needs a body, it needs a medium. நம்ம body இல்லைன்னா ஆத்மா cannot exist.
அந்த லாஸ்ட் அந்த 5 ஸ்லோகம் மட்டும் சங்கராச்சாரியர் இதெல்லாம் நம்ம படிச்சப்போ the body வந்து ஆத்மாவை மறைச்சிருக்கு, all the sense organs. எப்படி வந்து சன் வந்து ஒரு கிளவுட் மறைச்சிருக்கோ அந்த மாதிரி. ஸோ பட் ஆனா ஆத்மா வந்து வாழணும்னா நீட்ஸ் அ மீடியம், தட் இஸ் அ பாடி.
அதாவது எதனால சோல் வந்து நம்ம நார்மல் வேர்ல்ட்லி பிக்ஸோட இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ண முடியாதுன்னா அதுக்கு ஒரு ரிஃப்ளெக்டிங் மீடியம் இல்லை. அதுக்கு ஒரு மீடியம் இருந்தா தானே அதை நம்ம காமிக்க முடியும். இந்த வேர்ல்ட்லி திங்ஸால அது ஒரு மீடியமா வெளியில காமிக்க முடியாது. தட் இஸ் வாட் வி மீன் இன் தி லாஸ்ட் லைன்.
The last class we saw about the refinement, self-refinement. Hope everyone are very clear with what it is. So with refinement, hopefully we go back to the chapter 3 and with clear vision, we learn what exactly Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga is what it is. Vidyaka is not here today, so I'll be doing her verse. Tanaham Vishatta Ruran Samsareshu Naradhaman Shikamya Jasrama Subham Asurishu Veva Yonishu. I throw these haters of me who are not pious, cruel, and the lowliest among human beings perpetually into asura wounds which lead to further samsara. What happens when Asurisampath, a refined man, what happens to a refined man? That is, he loses all his dignity, he becomes omnipotent, and no one is there to question his behavior. His only ultimate goal will be the wealth. So he'll not even have a courtesy to talk with people, and he'll not even respect anyone around him. So his refinement is lost. And what happens? We don't follow any religious tendencies in the house. Regularly, what we do, we don't light a lamp, we don't use the vibhuti to mark our forehead, and we don't practice basic pujas at home. Because of this, what youngsters think is hanging picture of a god is more conventional method, and aesthetically it doesn't look good. It shows that more you're biased towards religion. It talks only about religion. So they have a mixed opinion and a different opinion, and they don't respect actually what it is, and they question the divinity. There is God or not, that is a different, altogether a different discussion. But to think there is a faith, only that will help them go forward in life. That is lost in this world. But whereas Sikhs, they fight for their rights, they fought for their rights, and they kept their turban and their hair, everything. Even in the army, they have that. because they think it is very important and it shows the respect they have for the religion, which unfortunately we don't follow it. So because of that, and Krishna says, because of that, what happens is we work only towards money. Only material world is known to us. We don't follow, most of them, they don't follow what dharma is or what moksha is. They are not aware of it. So here Krishna says, Paritrānāya sadhunām vināṣāya chaduskritam dharma sāstāma sambhavami yuge yuge. That is what he says. First he tried through scriptures and Mahatmas, hoping that scriptures and Mahatmas will change the society. Then the society is so corrupted that even the Mahatmas and scriptures cannot change. I'll take avatara and I will annihilate them. That is what first one Mahatmas scriptures in namukku kuduthirukkaru. So for us to understand, learn from them and refine ourselves and to understand what moksha and dharma is. But when இது வந்து நிறைய வந்து only materialistic people in the society அதிகமாக life becomes miserable. So when nobody sees the scriptures or follow the Mahatmas, then he says he'll take avatar and come to this world to destroy the evil. And we need to be first thankful to Paramatma to have given this human birth to attain moksha, because this human body is the only medium through which we can attain moksha. Without this human body, moksha is not possible. It's what he says, when you don't respect the human body or you don't respect the moksha, it is like giving a garland to the monkey. What happens? So what happens when garland is given to the monkey? It will just tear it away and it will not know the value of the garland. So Guruji says you should not be like a monkey. Respect your human body, and to attain moksha, use it wisely. And then what happens when you don't use your precious life wisely? You are born into the womb of a lower.
There are different lokas.
Different lokas, so you will be born into the lowest birth. You will have a lowest birth. So these are all the steps of the birth that is prescribed in the scriptures. So Padala Loka, you will be starting again from the beginning to go upward to the human birth. So it will take thousands and thousands of years, lakhs and lakhs of years to again attain this human body where you can go for moksha. So what we do, we'll hold on to the feet of the Lord, learn the scriptures and practice it in our day-to-day life. At least either 1 or 2 points we practice in our day-to-day life. That will help us to get refined and move forward towards moksha. Then the next is my verse. Asurin yonimapannaha Muda janmani Mama prapyaiva kaunteya Tato yantyadamam tatin. Entering the asura womb, birth after birth, these stupid, indiscriminate people do not reach me at all. They fall into still lower conditions, O Arjuna. That is what we spoke about in the last verse. That is, when we don't get refined or work towards moksha and we are more into materialistic world, naturally we have a lower birth. But again here, we are talking about vasana. What is vasana? That is first thing how the vasana comes into our life is abusing the free will. Free will is a magic power only we humans possess, not the animals or rest of the living things or non-living things they have. Only us, we have free will. So with this free will, when we don't respect the free will and abuse the free will, what happens? Vasana comes into our life. Vasana, the first step of Vasana is addiction. Then that addiction slowly changes into habit. That addiction, first to start with, addiction need not be smoking or drinking. Even you're getting so attached to a place. When you come to the class, you think this chair is the place where I have to sit, and getting more attached to this chair itself is the addiction, and that forms a habit. Drinking coffee, eating particular food, anything that comes as an addiction becomes a habit. There are two vasanas. One is Shubha Vasana and Ashubha Vasana. What is Shubha Vasana? That is attending the satsang, attaining moksha, purva janma, and spiritual inclination. In the verse 16.5, Arjuna had a doubt and asked Krishna, am I a Asurisampath? So for that, Krishna said, no, in Purva Janma, you have done something good and you are more inclined towards spirituality. So we have come to this satsang because we have a Purva Janma Punya, that's why we are in this satsang. So we have a Shubha Vasana, which we have to use it to attain moksha. Now coming to Ashubha Vasana, what happens with Ashubha? That governs our life, conquer our free will, and change is impossible. The example will be smoking and drinking. Once you get addicted to that, it governs our life. Early morning when you get up, the only thought will be, when can I smoke? How can I smoke? And then the people who drink, they think, when can I start a liquor? And always they think only about that. And conquer of free will. Free will is lost. When you're so much into something and addicted to something, then naturally free will is gone. Change is impossible. Once you get addicted to this, then the change is impossible until you want that to happen, you consciously change yourself. This will not change. Then Asura Vasanas and Asuric addiction. What happens? Your karma is accumulated. Because of this Ashubha Vasana, this Asuric, this are otherwise called as Asura Vasana and Asuric addiction. Your karma, you start accumulating karma, and your free will contribution is lesser and lesser, and you really think your thinking power is completely gone, and you enslaved, and in this janma, you're enslaved by your addictions, and this is carried forward to your next janma also. So along with Punyam and Pavam, we are bringing our Vasanas also, which we should be very much aware, and we should not get addicted or become a habit for us. Born into and then what happens with all this? You're naturally born into a Asuri Yonima Panna, that is the inferior Sarirams, and enslaved by their own thinking. Because of all this, you'll think you're the right, you're perfect, everything is perfect around you, but which is not. This is something that is very difficult for us to understand, but when we understand this, it will be easy for us to come out of the addiction, because karma responsible for vasana. The vasana we have, the addictions we have in this life is related to the karma we had in the previous birth. Vasana is responsible for further karma. So when you start adding up your habits and addictions, the next birth also, in case you don't get moksha, next birth also it will be carried over. Further karma is responsible for further vasanas, the same. So whatever you do good things, then it will be added as Shubha Vasana and more inclined towards spirituality. If it's Ashubha Vasana, then naturally you'll have an inferior birth. Then Janma after Janma, they come more and more down. When you start accumulating Ashubha Vasana, more and more your birth will be lower and lower and lower. And again, for you to work up towards the human life, it will be lakhs and lakhs of years. They move farther and farther away from Mahatmas and Guru. You have Ashubha Vasana, naturally you move away from Gurus and the Mahatmas. So what should we do? Use your free will. That is what we learned in the second chapter. You can only be the contributor, but the result is not in our hands. So use your free will, think once or twice before you decide on something. Learn when to say no and learn to adhere to it. That is simply when someone is inviting you for a drink or a smoke, the first no will be easier, but the second no will be difficult and you will have peer pressure. So learn to say no even the second time. And choose your friends wisely, which is very important because when you don't have a good set of close knit friend, naturally you will not lead, you will not have good advice or very good I don't know what to say, people supporting you. Remain far away from things that tempt you to addiction. Thank you, Hari. Naresh.
Hari Om. Today my verse is 16.2. Trividam Naraksheram
Trividam Naraksheram
Param Nasanamaatmaha
Varam Namashan
Kama Krodastata Lobastasma Detratyam Rajit. So explanation is desire, anger, and greed. These threefold gateway to hell is the cause of one's own destruction. Therefore, one should give up these three. So already often Guruji told about this gateway of Naraga. So in my verse also I'm talking about this only. So gateway of Naraka. So Naraka is a Kama. Three things are there: Kama, Krodha, and Lobha. Kama is a desire. We all already know. And Krodha is anger, and Lobha is a greed. So next slide. What is Narakam? So in next slide. So what is Narakam? Our Guruji, Krishna and Guruji taught about Narakam as anything that obstructs spiritual growth or anything that takes a person spiritually downward is Narakam. So நம்ம எல்லாரும் நினைச்சிட்டு இருப்போம் நரகனா அந்த எண்ணெய் சட்டியில இது பண்றது, கொலை பண்றது, கொடூரமா தண்டனை கொடுக்குறது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ எனக்கும் இன்னைக்கு அதை பத்தி தெரிய வந்தது. இது வந்துட்டு நம்மளை ஸ்பிரிச்சுவலா டவுன்லோட் ஆகிக்கிறோம். பிளஸ் வந்துட்டு நம்மளோட அந்த ஓன் செல்ஃபையும் வந்துட்டு அதுக்குதான் மாற்றிடுன்றது. ஸோ அது தட் இஸ் ஆத்மன நாசனம். ஸோ ஆத்மான்றது தான் நம்ம இப்போ ஆத்மாவை பத்தி தான் நம்ம எல்லாருமே டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் த ஆத்மான நாசனம். ஆத்மாவே வந்துட்டு கெடுக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயமா மாறும். So, how to come out of this? So, there is a qualitative changes. The qualitative changes of karma is mentioned here. There is three things. So, we have to change our mood. So, we have to get little and little. So, convert panni adu vandhu. So, there are three karmas described by our Krishna. So one is tamasic karma, second is rajasic karma, third is sattvic karma. So our qualitative changes will be convert tamasic karmas into rajasic karma, rajasic karmas into sattvic karma. So this is the way to reach the our proper way of moksha. So first is tamasic karma. What is tamasic karma? It is any desire which is illegal, which is immoral, which harm other people, or in short, which will take you spiritually downward. This is the tamasic karma. So, tamasic karma ன்றது நம்மள அது மற்றவங்களை வந்துட்டு, அதாவது நம்ம பண்ணக்கூடிய ஒவ்வொரு செயல்களும் இன்னொருத்தவங்களை வந்துட்டு தொந்தரவு பண்ணுது அப்படின்னா தட் இஸ் tamasic karma. சிம்பிளா சொல்லலாம். So second is rajasic karma. So it is a desire for artha and kama, money and entertainment. Enjoyment of sense pleasure does not harm a single person, but will not bring down spiritually, but there will be a spiritual stagnation. So, கொஞ்சம் spirituality இருக்கும், திடீர்னு அந்த காசு பணத்தை ஆசை வந்தோடனே அந்த ஸ்பிரிச்சுவாலிட்டி போய் அவங்களோட என்டர்டைன்மெண்ட் இது வந்து ஃபுல் அண்ட் ஃபுல் சென்ஸ் பிளஷர் ரிலேட் பண்ணியிருக்கு ராஜசிக் காமா. So comparing to tamasic karma, rajasic karma will be little better. So that's why I put these two red mark, because these things will not be followed. That is sattvic karma. So sattvic karma is a desire for dharma and moksha. I have a desire for chitta shuddhi. Sattvic karma is converted into badita karma. Badita karma, which means non-binding desire. So edono attach agama, only the desire is dharma and moksha. So it's related up pono. Another green color mention. So we have to follow sattvic karma. but slowly நம்ம தாமசிக்ல இருந்து வெளியில வந்து ராஜசிக்ல இருந்து வெளியில வந்து சாத்விக் வந்துட்டோம்னா we will attain the moksha. So this was explanation. And next item. So what about Krodha and Lobha? So there are three gateway of Naraka. One is Kama, second is Krodha, and third is Lobha. So we have know about Kama only. These three things of Kama. Once we handle Kama, the other two are handled because Krodha and Lobha are only the another version of Kama. So another version தான் வந்துட்டு குரோதாவும் லோபம். அதனால நம்ம காமம் அந்த இதை வந்துட்டு நம்ம கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணிட்டோம் அப்படின்னாலே நம்ம வந்துட்டு அந்த குரோதாவும் லோபமும் வராது. ஸோ டிசைர் இல்லைன்னா ஆங்கர் இருக்காது, டிசைர் இல்லைன்னா கிரீட் இருக்காது. ஸோ இந்த மூணையும் நம்ம இது பண்ணிட்டோம்னா we will attain the moksha.
இந்த உங்களுக்கு
Happy. 24, sir.
एकविमुक्त कौन्तेय मूर्वारष्टिभि नरः आत्मनः श्रेय तो याति परां गतिम्. So, meaning is, so Arjuna, freed from all these three gates of hell, a man pursues what is good for himself and thus attains the supreme goal. Here there are three message here. One is we have to come away from these three gates of hell. Second, once you do it, the man pursues what is good for himself. And the third is thus attain the supreme goal. There are three things we are discussing here. So we all know the three gates of hell is Kama, Krodha, and Lobha. The last, anger and greed. Kama is desire. Desire is through all the five senses. When we see something, we want to have it. When we like to hear flatteries, we want flatteries. When we touch something or taste something or smell it, we want to eat. At the cost of our health. We don't care about the health, but just especially in all the buffets, we'll be eating, we'll be so full, but still we'll be stuffing ourselves at the cost of health. We'll be having this desire or lust. So when the desire is not attained, when it is not there, the next reaction will be anger. And anger, lust is the lowest of the lot, which has to be avoided. And anger is very, very dangerous because it affects us both physiologically as well as psychologically. So, for example, when we all know we have a mind that dictates our brain and a brain that dictates our body. So, whatever informations we have, that will dictate our brain what should be done. So, when we want something, we don't get it. When the reaction we know which will get us, automatically from children to big people will start reacting and getting angry. But anger is very dangerous because it will spoil your mental health first to begin with, because from here the dictation goes to your body. So when you're irritated here, when your poor listening skills comes up, you jump into conclusion, irrational reactions. All those things will happen. And the worst part is, it will push us to that extent, we will be doing something, after doing, we'll realize it. We won't want to throw something, we'll throw and then we'll realize that we have thrown it. Such actions will start coming in. So it is very important that our inner world, which contains our body, mind, and our emotions, will get affected. And next one. Now, after your mind is facing hell because of all these, next is your physical health. As I told you, the brain tells the body what should be done. So there will be imbalance of hormone secretion. When you're angry, you know all these reactions will start coming up. You'll start having headaches, you'll have pressure, you'll have thyroid, decreased thyroid function, bone density, heart rate, blood pressure, glucose, blood fatty acids, everything will shoot up.
And sometimes you'll end up with heart attacks and everything. And the digestive system, the blood flow to the digestive system will become less. So overall, your body will be experiencing hell. So that is what mind is also experiencing hell because of all this, and your body is also experiencing hell. Next one, please. Now with the emotional again, when your emotions get distracted or affected by these three thoughts: jealousy, envy, frustration, stress, anger, anxiety, depression. All this will start getting accumulated in you, and again it will be spoiling and making your body hell for you to live in. So this is the hell which is being talked about here. So that is the inner world about us itself. Next is the outer world. Definitely, when we have lust, when we have anger, and when we are greedy, we will hurt everybody around us, because what is important is I, me, my ego, mattumo, wellness. So everyone will get hurt. Will be throwing things, yelling and screaming, rolling on the floor, whatnot. All this, most of us would have experienced half of it. So these three bodily system becomes rigid and impure. We damage and abuse others and break relationship. So the inner world is gone, as well as the outer world is also gone, and now we are actually in hell itself. And holding to anger or any of these is like grasping a hot coal and trying to throw it on others, but we are the one who's going to get hurt first. Next one. So now what happens when we give away me, I, ego, when we give away all these things, what happens? So definitely, we will not have big attachments or aversion towards anything. When we start giving away these three doshas or habits, automatically we will be moving towards sattvic from tamasic and rajasic. Then even anger or anything, we won't want to justify it. நான் செஞ்சது இப்போ கரெக்ட் ஏன்னா கோவத்துல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா நான் செஞ்சது கரெக்ட் அப்படின்றதுதான் வரும். So we won't be justifying it, but we'll be substituting every negative thoughts as a positive thoughts. இந்த மூணும் நம்மளை விட்டு போயிடுச்சுன்னா நம்ம விட்டு ஹெல் மூலமா வெளியில போக ஆரம்பிச்சிடும். இது வரும்போது மனசுல அமைதி, மெடிடேஷன், டிவோஷன், பிரேயர்ஸ் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா will start coming towards us. ஏன்னா ஒரு நெகட்டிவ் போகும்போது it will be refilled by the positive ways of life. So healthy body, healthy mind will definitely give you happy life, which is we are giving away the hell and we are experiencing heaven. And earth is a heaven or hell is our choice. And the main thing, the last line which we were talking about, this first one I said giving away these three. Second, doing something good for ourselves. And third is we'll be moving towards the goal, supreme goal. That is when the mind is calm and the body is calm, then we'll be looking into our soul. Appada நம்ம soul we நம்ம realize பண்ணவே முடியும். So thank you. So dear permission. So that attaining supreme goal is to know oneself, to control oneself, to realize the God in you. நம்மளுக்குள்ள இருக்கிற God realize பண்றது. Turning towards your soul, being conscious of your consciousness. The நிறைய விஷயங்கள் consciousness எல்லாமே செய்வோம், and we'll never relate it to the conscious. So we have to think, and we'll be realizing the supreme everywhere. எல்லாத்துலயுமே correct. Thank you.
Nitya, are you online?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. यः शास्त्रविधिम् उत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारतः न स सिद्धिमवाप्नोति न सुखं न परां गतिम्. Okay, so here in this verse 23, what Krishna is trying to tell is Yaha Shastra Vidim Utsrijya. So Shastra Vidim is the scriptural injection, the scriptural messages. Utsrijya means one who discards it. So one who discards the scriptural messages or scriptural injections and Vartate kama karataha, who lives according to his own desires, to his own world of whimsical desires. Na siddham avapnoti, so they neither attain purity, na sukham, no, nor happiness, na paramgatim. Paramgatim is the supreme goal. So, having given up the scriptural injunctions, he who lives according to the impulse of desire attains neither purity nor happiness. He does not attain the supreme goal also. So actually, from first 3 verses, Krishna tells about the Daivic qualities. In the 4th verse, he tells about the Asuric qualities. And then from verse 7 till 21, Krishna explains in detail about the Asuric qualities, what happens, how they will be, what they will think, and all those things. And from 22 onwards, he tells, how Aarti ma'am explained, in verse 22, he tells what happens when we leave the 3 gates to hell, the Kama, Krodha, and Lobha. And 23 and 24, he tries to explain the importance of scriptures. So basically, what Krishna says is that scriptures are like a roadmap, a user manual, a guide to us. So without scriptures, one will be like lost. He does say a person wants to reach a destination. He knows the destination, but he doesn't know how to go. He doesn't have anyone to guide to, so he will be lost. He will try all the possible routes, and eventually he will get lost. He will have no roadmap. So that's where our scriptures come into picture. Scriptures like Bhagavad Gita or Vedas. Can you press the next? Yeah. So that's where Bhagavad Gita scriptures come into picture. So they serve as the roadmap, and using this roadmap, we can reach the destination successfully. So that is what Krishna is trying to tell. And so there was one example which Swami Chinmayananda gave. So having scriptures and not following them is like you are feeling sick and you go to a pharmacist and get medicine for your sickness. So இங்க நம்ம டாக்டர்ஸ்லாம் நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. நிறைய பேர் அந்த மாதிரி தப்பு பண்ணுவோம் இல்லையா? ஸோ நம்ம உடம்பு சரியில்லாதப்போ போய் ஏதோ ஒரு ரொம்ப முடியாம ஒரு சீரியஸான ஒரு கண்டிஷனுக்கு போய் ஃபார்மசிஸ்ட போய் நம்ம மெடிசன் வாங்கி சாப்பிட்டோம்னா வந்துட்டு அது நமக்கு ஒரு பெர்மனன்ட் ரிலீஃப் கொடுக்க போறது கிடையாது. ஸோ வாட் இஸ் த ரைட் திங் டு டூ இஸ் go to a proper doctor and get consulted and get the medicine. So அதே மாதிரி தான் லைக் ஸ்கிரிப்சர்ஸ் இருக்கும்போது ஸ்கிரிப்சர்ஸை ஃபாலோ பண்ணாம நம்ம இஷ்டத்துக்கு நம்மளா ஒன்று பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம்னா வந்துட்டு எவென்ச்சுவலி வி வில் நாட் ரீச் த கோல். அதுதான் வந்துட்டு இங்க மீன் பண்றாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் லைக் mere change from, so Swami, what Swamiji is telling us, mere change from Asuri Sampath to Daivi Sampath is not enough. So a moral or ethical life by itself will not lead to liberation. For example, நம்ம வந்து இந்த குவாலிட்டிஸ் எல்லாம் கம்பேர் பண்ணி பார்க்கும்போது ஓகே நம்ம கிட்ட ஆசுரி சம்பத் குவாலிட்டிஸ் வந்து கம்மியா தான் இருக்கு. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் நம்ம கொஞ்சம் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு தைவி சம்பத் குவாலிட்டிஸ் டெவலப் பண்ணிக்கிட்டா மட்டும் போதும் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சோம்னா தட்ஸ் நாட் இனஃப் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சுவாமிஜி சொல்றாரு. ஏன்னா when you just lead a moral life மட்டும் பண்ணா வந்து நமக்கு வந்து மோக்ஷாங்கிறது கிடைக்காது அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு சுவாமிஜி ஸ்ட்ராங்கா. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி பீப்புள் வந்து எப்படின்னா தேர் எத்திக்கலி இக்னரண்ட் பர்சன் சொல்றாரு. Ignorance will go away only if one practices spiritual sadhana. So the best thing is to follow Lord Krishna's teaching. இந்த மாதிரி கீதா அண்ட் வேதாஸ் மாதிரி இருக்க ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் சாதனாஸ் எல்லாம் ஃபாலோ பண்ணி அந்த இக்னோரன்ஸை வந்துட்டு நம்ம வந்து விலக்கிக்கிட்டோம்னா தான் வந்து we will eventually go towards liberation or mokshanட்டு சுவாமிஜி சொல்றாரு. So if one who does not change the direction of life and lives according to his own ragadvesha based life, அவங்க வந்து அவங்களுக்கு என்னெல்லாம் நடக்காது அப்படின்னு என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா நோ சான்ஸ் ஆஃப் கெட்டிங் சித்த சுத்தி. இப்ப நம்ம நோ சான்ஸ் ஆஃப் கெட்டிங் ஞான யோகியதா, நோ ஞான பிராப்தி, நோ ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் ஜாய், lose capacity to enjoy worldly pleasures, eventually lose health, mind and everything. So in the verse may வந்து what we saw, they say that scriptures follow பண்ணாம அவங்க ஓன் desires ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கவங்களுக்கு என்ன சொல்லியிருக்காங்க, there will be no happiness, no purity of mind and no moksha, no liberation தான் சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. So similarly on the same lines, they will not have a chitta suddhina, purity of mind, jnana yogyata, jnana prapti, no spiritual joy and அவங்க வந்துட்டு நமக்கு வேணும் வேணும், நமக்கு நிறைய பிளஷர்ஸ் வேணும் வேணும் வேணும்ன்றதுல இருக்கிறதுல எவென்ச்சுவலி வந்து அதுல கிடைக்கிற அந்த என்ஜாய்மெண்ட் எல்லாம் கூட லூஸ் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. அண்ட் இந்த ப்ராசஸ் ஆஃப் இட் தே வில் லூஸ் தேர் ஹெல்த், மைண்ட் அண்ட் எவ்ரிதிங்ன்ற மாதிரி சொல்றாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் லைக் ஸோ பகவத் கீதா இஸ் லைக் அ யூசர் மேனுவல். Say for example, if we have any gadget, right, they will provide us a user manual, and if we use the gadget according to the manual, we can use it properly. இப்ப அந்த மேனுவல்ல இல்லாத மாதிரி நம்ம பாட்டுக்கு நம்ம இஷ்டத்துக்கு எதையோ ஒன்ன போட்டு இது பண்ணோம்னா அந்த கேஜெட் வந்து சீக்கிரமா ரிப்பேர் ஆயிடும். இப்ப அதே மாதிரி தான் பகவத் கீதாவும் நமக்கு ஒரு இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் மேனுவல் மாதிரி தான் சொல்றாங்க நம்ம ஹியூமன் லைஃப்க்கு. ஸோ இஃப் வி ஃபாலோ இட் ப்ராப்பர்லி, one who follows Shastra will reach perfection, reach fulfillment of travel, and reach the destination, which is the moksha. Hari Om.
This is the last verse of this chapter, and I think when we started, Sachin sir told that this chapter will be heavy, but actually to read it is easy. The verses are also a bit easy. There is not much of, it is just only Daiviasurisampath, Asurisampath, and the last two verses, as Ms. Nidhi told, it just tells about the importance of scriptures. But why it is heavy is it is very difficult to follow. That is, to practice it every day, that is what matters here. So to read this, actually I think we have completed this chapter in a very short time, within a month's time. But the thing is, following this and implementing this every day is only very difficult. That is why I believe this chapter is, as Sachin sir told, it's a bit heavy. So this verse is nothing but just what that says is read the scriptures, follow it. That is how this chapter ends. So I will just say, Tasma Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavistatau Jnatvad Shastra Vidanoktam Karma Kartumihātasi. Therefore, the scriptures are the source of knowledge for you in determining the do's and don'ts. Having known the teaching of the scriptural injunctions, you should do your duty here. So here, Shastric guidance, Shastric manual. The literature is based on Vedas, Smriti, Idihasas, Puranas, Sutrams, Prakarana, Gnati. They are all actually Veda Shastram is a Vedic teaching. First, for us, it is like a guide for us, how to lead our life. So when we read Veda Shastram and when we follow it, that is how our life should be. It is actually like, it will guide us if we follow. That is what we say when we started Bhagavad Gita also. Though this was written nearly 5,000 years before, it is still applicable today for our day-to-day life. So when we follow Bhagavad Gita and when we lead our life accordingly, we can easily get into the path of moksha. So we are supposed to follow everything as per our scriptures. So Veda Purva Shastram is Dharma Shastram. Kayam means do, what to do, and Akaryam means not what not to do. Vidhi, Nisheda, Dharma is, Adharma is
Vidhi, Nisheda, Dharma.
Dharma. Okay.
Both are the same.
Yeah. Okay. So we are Veda Purva Bhaga. We should not just learn, but we have to implement everything. And actually here Swamiji says, like us buying a gadget and not using it. If we buy a new cell phone and if we are not using it, there is no point. Why should we have bought that? And again, so many people, they'll know yoga, this yoga, everything. But when we don't do yoga, it is not of any benefit to our body. So we have to implement the scriptures. That is what is told here. So not much to say in this verse, but generally, actually, this chapter itself, when we start, because now we know what are the qualities of Asurisampath and what are the qualities of Daiviasampath. So we should start practicing. We should try to practice Daiviasampath qualities and reduce our Asurisampath qualities. So that is what the end of the chapter is.
And like last week, I think we all are very clear what refinement is. Refinement of self is very important, and that is what this chapter mainly aims on. And we are not going to think about only the bad qualities, it is for the refinement of ourselves. Salishan?
We're supposed to say that verse 3. இது chapter முடிஞ்சா ஒவ்வொரு chapter முன்னாடி
Sir, பாருங்க இது பாருங்க. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu
2771 sir, page number. 2771. Page number.
Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu
Om Tat Saditi.
Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambhate Daiviasurisampath Vibhav Yoga Nama Successfully, we have completed the chapter.
We have to follow very discipline.
That is only it is refinement that we have to be refined. Only then, when we go back to chapter 3, chapter 3 போகும்போது நம்மளுக்கு வந்து we'll be able to observe எப்படி வந்து ஒரு magnifying glassல வந்து sunlight உள்ள போச்சுன்னா எப்படி ஒரு ஷார்ப்பா போய் ஒரு ஆப்ஜெக்டை எரிக்க முடியுமோ அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம வந்து ஷார்ப்பா நம்ம ரிஃபைன் பண்ணிக்கணும். Hopefully we do that. Pat our back and every day we take a step together.
Yes. Easiest way, don't judge. Sometimes we might be wrong. நம்ம நினைக்கிறது கூட தப்பா இருக்கலாம். The other person might be right. நம்ம every day we should work towards betterment. மேல ஒரு குட்டி குட்டி ஸ்டெப்பா பெட்டர் ஆகிறதுக்கு எடுத்து வைக்கலாம். நல்ல குவாலிட்டிஸ் இம்பைப் பண்றதுக்கு ட்ரை பண்ணலாம்.
முன்னாடிலாம் ஏதாவது பண்ணா யோசிக்காம பண்ணிடுவோம். கிளாஸ்க்கு வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் ஒவ்வொரு விஷயம் யோசிச்சுட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் பண்ணும்போது சரியா பண்றோமா தப்பா பண்றோமா யோசிச்சுட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் பண்ணுவோம்.
யாருக்காவது ஏதாவது சொல்லணுமா anything to share in the particular chapter பத்தி?
Thanks to Arundhati, most of the 16 chapters was moderated by her. Thank you so much. Still, you have become an anchor.
Because in the absence of Sachin sir, it would not have been easy to do the class. Since you were there, so not much much break.
Work, scholarship preparation.
Anything to share because we have some time, so anything to share.
But இது வந்து நம்ம இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்கிற ஐடியா இருந்துச்சுனாவே we can try கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா. So
how only is hard. We know what is right, but how to do
it won't be easy கண்டிப்பா.
Last week you heard about the refinement. That is a basic step-by-step procedure that you can follow basically to start with. So So on the manual, if you follow that manual, that is more than enough for you to take you towards refinement and at the step to towards it will definitely help you. இந்த சாப்டர் ஃபுல்லா படிச்சு ஃபுல்லா அட் டைம் ஃபாலோ பண்ணனும் கிடையாது. டேக் a single step.
அட்டாச் எதுலமே அட்டாச் ஆகக்கூடாது. எவ்ரிதிங் இஸ் given by God, everything is taken by God. அந்த அக்செப்டன்ஸ் வந்துச்சுனாவே, it might be money, it might be a family member, whatever it may be, everything நம்ம வந்து அது ஏதாவது பண்ண முடியும்னா it is not in our hands. So what is happening will happen. We have to accept it and move in the dharmic way. So that is what I feel.
If Nagraj rightly pointed out, lot of things we do without thinking. And each thing நம்ம think பண்ணாலே, I think that will start the change within.
Shall I chant?